Tvam Bhakti Yoga Paribhavita Hrusaroja Ase Shrute Kshipita Pato Nanunada Pumsam Yadhadhyata Urugaya Vibhavayanti Tattadvapu Pranayase Tadanugrahaya Tvam Bhakti Yoga Paribhavita Hrusaroja Ase Shrute Kshipta Pata Nanunada Pumsam Yadhadhyata Urugaya Vibhavayanti Tattadvapu Pranayase Sadanagrahaya. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. O my Lord, your devotees can see you through the ears by the process of bona fide hearing, and thus their hearts become cleansed, and you take your seat there. You are so merciful to your devotees that you manifest yourself in the particular eternal form of transcendence in which they always think of you. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The statement here that the Lord manifests Himself before the devotee in the form in which the devotee likes to worship Him indicates that the Lord becomes subordinate to the desire of the devotee, so much so that He manifests His particular form as the devotee demands. This demand of the devotee is satisfied by the Lord because He is pliable in terms of the transcendental loving service of the Lord, of the devotee. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Ye yadhamam prapadhyante tamstathaiva bhajamyaham. We should note, however, that the Lord is never the order supplier of the devotee. Here in this verse it is particularly mentioned, Tvam Bhakti Yoga Paribhavita. This indicates the efficiency achieved through execution of mature devotional service, or prema, love of Godhead. This state of prema is achieved by the gradual process of development from faith to love. On faith, one associates with bona fide devotees, and by such association, one can become engaged in bona fide devotional service, which includes proper initiation and the execution of the primary devotional duties prescribed in the revealed scriptures. This is clearly indicated herein by the word Shutekshita. The Shutekshita path is to hear from bona fide devotees who are conversant with Vedic wisdom, free from mundane sentiment. By this bona fide hearing process, the neophyte devotee becomes cleansed of all material rubbish, and thus he becomes attached to one of the many transcendental forms of the Lord as described in the Vedas. This attachment of the devotee to a particular form of the Lord is due to natural inclination. Each and every living entity is originally attached to a particular type of transcendental service because he is eternally the servitor of the Lord. Lord Chaitanya says that the living entity is eternally a servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Therefore, every living entity has a particular type of service relationship with the Lord eternally. This particular attachment is invoked by practice of regulative devotional service to the Lord, and thus the devotee becomes attached to the eternal form of the Lord, exactly like one who is already eternally attached. This attachment for a particular form of the Lord is called Swarupa Siddhi. The Lord sits on the lotus heart of the devotee in the eternal form the pure devotee desires, and thus the Lord does not part from the devotee as confirmed in the previous verse. The Lord, however, does not disclose Himself to a casual or inauthentic worshipper to be exploited. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yogamaya Samavruta. Rather, by Yogamaya, the Lord remains concealed to the non-devotees or casual devotees who are serving their sense gratification. The Lord is never visible to the pseudo-devotees who worship the demigods in charge of universal affairs. The conclusion is that the Lord cannot become the order supplier of a pseudo devotee, but is always prepared to respond to the desires of a pure, unconditional devotee who is free from all tinges of material infection. So, Krishna's wonderful nature is explained here. How he becomes merciful to his devotees, and then he manifests himself in the particular eternal form of transcendence in which they always think of him. So when the devotee, he becomes a pure devotee, and then he meditates on a particular transcendental form of the Supreme Lord, the Lord is kind enough to manifest that form as per the demand of the pure devotee. This is his nature. So Bhritya Vasatha, he comes under the control of his devotee, and then he becomes malleable in the hands of the devotee. When the devotee, he demands to see the Lord in a particular form, Krishna becomes obliged, and then he comes in that particular form. But this is applicable only to pure devotees, not to the occasional practitioners of devotion, nor to the non-devotees or pseudo-devotees or devotees of the demigods. Krishna is not obliged to all these categories. He comes under the control of the pure devotional service of the pure devotee. So that's why he accepts the demand. He likes to take the demands of the devotees, and then he manifests that form. So this is nature of the Lord. This nature is called internal nature. He has external nature also, that manifests through the external energy. But this is his swabhav, his internal nature, which is exhibited in his internal potency. So that internal potency gets invoked. It becomes invoked when somebody practices Bhakti Yoga paribhavita. If somebody engages himself in 100% service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he comes under the influence of the internal potency. Krishna's internal nature, the soft nature, motherly nature, merciful nature can be experienced by the devotee when he practices devotional service. But if somebody doesn't practice this Bhakti Yoga paribhavita, then he comes under his external nature. External nature is very severe. It is manashashtanindriyani karshati. There is a hard work in this world. By the senses and by the mind, there is a tremendous hard work everybody has to do. So much so that sometimes mouth dries up, or some kind of a foam comes out of the mouth. That's the kind of hard work that will be required to be done here, just to eat 3 times a day. This is his nature. But this nature is very severe nature. That's why it's a external nature of the Lord. It is separated from him. It's a separated nature. Not separated from him, but it's called separated nature because is internal. That softness you don't see in this. So here Krishna he is exhibiting, Brahma is glorifying his wonderful nature, by which he is comes under the control of his devotee. So the devotee, he gets attracted to a particular form. then Lord will be pleased to manifest that form alone in his heart. So first of all, of course, now we are in external nature. We are trying to come to his internal nature. We want to experience his internal nature. So that process is the beginning stages is called regulated devotional service. We have not yet come to pure devotional stage, but we have begun our journey. So that's why it requires Shrutekshita. It requires that we hear from a bona fide spiritual master who is a pure devotee of the Lord. So only a pure devotee can give you Krishna. Only a pure devotee will be able to hand over Krishna to you. Only he can distribute Krishna freely. If somebody is under the control of this external nature, then he cannot. His mind is always focused on exploiting and enjoying in this world. But otherwise, really, if somebody has to help somebody else, then he has to be a pure devotee. Only a pure devotee thinks of the welfare of others. Mahaprabhu said, our movement is meant for perfecting ourselves and then do paropakar. But somebody who is under the control of this material nature, he cannot do any paropakar. So many activities that goes on in this world in the name of paropakar, welfare activities, they are not actually any help. Simply waste of time and energy. So the real paropakar can be done by only a pure devotee or under his direction. Even the conditioned devotees like us will be able to do. Otherwise, it is not possible. So here it is mentioned, Shrutekshita Patha. Our Patha, our Marga, our path is Shrutekshita. We have to hear from bona fide sources, and then that will cleanse our heart, and then we'll be able to increase our practice day by day. So Prabhupada is translating here, your devotees can see you through the ears by the process of bona fide hearing. See you means we think seeing through the eyes. But here it is mentioned they will see you through the ears. Through the ears we see. Actually, that's how in this world also, anywhere. When you want to see, you can only see through the ears. First of all, you have to hear, and then you will be able to see. Otherwise, our seeing will be ignorant. Many times we discussed this example. Prabhupada gives that, let us say there is a, some repair is there. Somehow say power is not coming to one particular place. We are seeing the wires, we are seeing the board, we are seeing the switches, but we don't know what to do. And we see that electrical panels, we don't know what to do. But as soon as an electrician comes, less than a minute, he will do something, and then immediately there is a power. So what is the difference between electricians seeing and we seeing? The same things we are seeing, but then electrician is in knowledge. He understood where is the problem, and immediately within a minute's time he has changed the situation. Similarly, in our life, this change is required. Otherwise, we continue to see, we continue to hear, we continue to do so many things, but it has no meaning. There has to be change. When Arjuna saw the opposite army, whole setup is same. Everybody is standing in their own positions. Arjuna is here, is on a chariot, everything is there. And after seeing, he is saying, Krishna, I do not want to fight. I don't want to do all these things. This is all troublesome. Radha Govinda ki jai. He doesn't want. But when he is Shutekshita Patha, but when he heard a bona fide hearing, then the whole setup is same. Arjuna is same. Krishna is there. Everything is there, but there is a change. The very important principle of Bhagavad Gita is that there should be a change in our heart. And then how that change comes? By Shutekshita Patha, by bona fide hearing. Arjuna, he wanted to serve his own whims. He wanted to do in his own way. But after hearing Krishna, he said, all my doubts are cleared. Now I wanted to do in your way. In your way. This is the change. If we want to live according to our whims, then that is called external nature. We are still struggling with external nature. But as soon as your internal doubts are cleared, and then you decide, Krishna, I will follow your whims, then we are coming into internal nature of the Lord. That's all. This is the only change that is required. The whole setup is same, whole soldiers are same, Bhishma has not changed, Drona has not changed, armies have not changed. Arjuna, apparently nothing has changed in his external body, but there is change in his internal environment. His consciousness has changed. His consciousness has now come to the situation that it wants to follow Krishna. That is called Krishna consciousness. Our consciousness should be dovetailed with Krishna's consciousness. Then the whole environment, the whole thing changes. You come under very caring, motherly, affectionate energy of the Lord. You come under the shelter of Radharani, the internal potency. So that's what we're all hankering for. We're all crying to come back to the shelter of our mother, to come back to the shelter of our Lord. So this is possible when we decide that I want to think or act only according to your whim. Abide by the whims of the spiritual master, whims of Krishna. Prabhupada says, distribute my books, that's all. We have to take the books and go and distribute. No more whims, our own calculations. What will happen, my time, this, that, all. No. One has to take up the order of the spiritual master and execute it to his best capacity. So Prabhupada says, I want a big temple, I want a Balaji temple, that's all, over, all calculations bun. We have to abide by his whims. So then we come under the control of internal energy, and then you will see everything miraculously happening. Ultimately, only Krishna does everything. We think we are doing. That's why we calculate too much. Oh, it's a big, very hard work. Lot of work I have to do. And then so many things I have to do, I have to sacrifice. We think like this. But actually everything is done by the Lord. Your initiative should be there. According to the instruction of the spiritual master, We have to go on taking our initiative, go on doing our services. Then you will see the grand plan of the spiritual master, the grand plan of Krishna will manifest. You will be surprised to see that how things are getting manifested. And we'll call it as miracles and this and that. But that's how the internal energy works. It is always miraculous. The secret to enjoy miracles is you have to abide by the orders of the pure devotee. Srila Prabhupada. That's all. You will see all kinds of the energy is different, the things will be different. So how the change comes in us? This is mentioned here. Shutekshita patha. We have to follow the path of descending process from a bona fide source. This is the so if somebody takes like that, then gradually he will become purified. The purification is that he refuses to act according to his bodily whims, his mental whims. He just goes by whatever the spiritual master orders to him. That's why Prabhupada is mentioning the path of reaching complete attachment, complete love for Krishna begins with faith. What is that faith? If I accept Guru's order, takes it to my heart and to my best capacity, execute that order, then I will certainly come under the control of internal energy. I will come under the merciful nature of the Lord, and then one day I can also achieve perfection. So devotee is confident. So we should become confident on the words and purports of the spiritual master. If Srila Prabhupada has said something, a devotee should catch on to that instruction. It is my life and soul. Without this instruction, I am a dead body. This is the mode of a devotee. A disciple is dead if the instructions of Guru are not running in his body. That is the blood, that is the life and soul. Any other whims that we carry in our head, that is external nature. A lot of hard work will be there, a lot of suffering will be there. Maya means not only hard work, at the end only suffering. 3 kleshas will come to us. But on the other hand, somebody who is continuously contemplating on the instructions of the spiritual master and is thinking, now how I can do, what I can do, next. Although helplessly, sometimes we feel, maybe, will I be able to do this? It looks too big. It looks very difficult. Will I be able to do it or achieve it? Those calculations are not for us. Our calculation is, Guru has ordered, now I have to do next step. What is the next step? That's all you have to think. Devotee's thinking is about the next step, not about whether the order is correct or not. And Prabhupada says, okay, distribute my books, double it. Now, you need not have to think why double, why not 1.5, why not this, why not that. No. We are not meant for evaluating Guru's order. Why he said something in a particular place and why he gave that order, we are nobody to calculate all those. Our goal is, now Prabhupada says, double it, so now I have to take the next step. I can only take the next step. What is the next step? This calculation is what it is called running in our blood. Then you will always be engaged. You hear a statement of Srila Prabhupada, an order, And then you are continuously calculating what is the next step, next step, next step, next step. So sometimes when we look at a big order, we become overwhelmed. Is it possible? No. You just think what you can do next. That's all it is. You have to go there, tell him this is what we wanted. Master is, there should be a glorious temple for Krishna in the city of Hyderabad. So we have come to you for your help. So please become part of this project and receive the blessings of the Lord. This is what we can say. And we don't know what kind of an inspiration you will get. We don't know. Why we are confident that this kind of preaching will certainly work? Because change, Krishna can bring that change in that person. All that is required is changing. Like Arjuna changed in a minute. Not minute, he heard the Bhagavad Gita. He changed. This change is possible because Krishna is there and you are asking for him only, for his service only. So that change can come. Any inspiration is possible. Krishna can give inspiration. So by looking at the sincere endeavors of the devotees, Krishna can change, give inspiration. And then that person can take a book, a person can donate something, or he can help spread this movement. Everything is possible. And so that's why one has to be always absorbed in meditating on the instructions of the spiritual master. For us to see Krishna means Shrutekshita Pata. Devotee has to see, the disciple will see Krishna in the instructions of the spiritual master. This is called seeing. We can have darshan of the Lord in the instructions of the spiritual master. That's all. Whenever you want to see Krishna face to face, very simple. You open Prabhupada's book and in the instructions, in that Vani, you can see Krishna face to face. This is the secret.